Hello, my name is Dr. Mielcarski, aka the Health Raiser, and today I want to talk about something really awesome, and that is hugs. That's right, I'm a big hugger. I love to give and receive hugs. I've even received compliments about how well I do hug, and hugging definitely is an art form. And in this book right here, it's actually a book that I wrote. I have some hugging guidelines, and I want to go through them with you today because I think they're really important. And you'll find that if you apply these guidelines, that your hugs become more magical and romantic and long-lasting and loving. And they have a greater impact on people, not only yourself, but others. So let's go through the guidelines, and then I'll demonstrate an actual hug with somebody, and hopefully this will serve you well. So here we go. Guideline number 1 is permission. You always want to get permission and respect from the other person that you are hugging. Now, you could just simply ask the person, hey, would you like a hug right now? Or you could just give them a nonverbal. And either way, you're going to get an answer back. The person's either going to be like, oh, no, I don't think so, pal. Or, they may just say, sure, and they come in for the hug. Okay, so that's number 1, permission. Number 2 guideline is time. What I mean by time is the hug is going to only last a certain amount of time. And when it's over, let go. Okay, because it does freak people out if they're trying to let go of you and you're still trying to hold on to them, and it's not something you want to create. The whole point of the hug is it should be intimate and caring and loving. It shouldn't create a sense of fear or some kind of weird energy between you and the other person. Okay, the next guideline is force. Now, this is something you'd be really mindful of. When you go to hug somebody, you do want to hug them firmly and embrace them, but you don't want to bear hug them. Okay, the whole point is not to squeeze the life out of them. It's just to comfort them with a hug. Okay, the next guideline is height. This is really important. When you hug somebody, you definitely want to maintain proper height during the hug. Now, for the taller people, you're going to have to do a little bit more work on this. Okay. And when somebody shorter than you comes in that you're going to hug, it's a really good idea to actually get down on their level so that the hugs connect on a heart level. All right, you see, because if you're a really tall person and you go in and you make somebody shorter than you just try to come up and hug you, they're either going to be one hanging off your neck and it's not really a hug for that person, or they're probably going to catch your shoulder right in their throat, and that doesn't feel good either. Okay, this is hugging, this is not UFC fighting. So, no shoulders to the throat, all right? You want to be chest to chest. All right, the next guideline is contact. And when you're hugging somebody, you really want to make sure that you embrace them, and not just in your upper bodies. You don't want to get this whole thing going on where you're like, you're tapping them on the back, because you're not trying to burp the person, you're trying to hug them. So always keep that in mind. The next guideline is intention. Now with intention, when you go to hug somebody, you have to have a certain intention with that hug. And I always say be very clear before you're going to hug somebody where your intentions are. If you're not really in an intimate relationship with that person, then the intention should really be just on a friendship type of love. All right? If you have a more intimate relationship with that person and there is a connection there, then the hug can have a little bit different intention. All right? Another really important guideline is presence. Okay, now this one's not in the book, but in a future edition I'll probably add it. When you are hugging somebody, be present. Be in that present moment and give them a nice hug. All right, don't be thinking about as you're hugging them, I wonder what kind of smoothie I'm going to have later. All right, because that person can feel that. They have given you their time and energy, and you owe it to them to give them your time and energy and your respect and your love by being present during the hug. Because a hug without presence is very empty. All right, and finally, the last guideline, this really important one, is the direction. And I really do feel that the direction that you hug in makes a difference. And I'm going to give you a little rhyme to remember how to do this correctly, and then I'm going to demonstrate it. And the rhyme goes, to the right, hearts unite, which means you want to hug to your right side. This is my right side, so as the person comes in, I'm going to pull them in and I'm going to hug toward my right. The other easier way to remember is put your chin over their left shoulder. So as they are approaching you, you're going to put your chin over their left shoulder, and automatically you'll end up hugging to your right. To the right, hearts unite. That means your hearts line up and you'll feel a stronger connection on a heart level when you're giving that person a hug. So I'm going to demonstrate this with a person here. I'm going to have to find somebody. Let me look around. Hey, cute girl. Would you like a hug?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Say hi, cute girl.
Hi.
Okay, so this cute girl right here has decided that she's going to give me a hug. And so there's step one there. I've got permission on that. Okay? And time-wise, we're going to just hug just for a few seconds. And since I know her and I've given her a hug before, actually, she kind of knows how this drill goes. Now, in terms of height, we're about the same height. So there's no need for me to get up on my toes or her to really squat down. We could just hug, and we're going to be at about the right height. Now, force-wise, I promised her a long time ago I would never squeeze her really hard or too hard, and because it's not comfortable, as I mentioned. Okay, our intentions for this hug are loving friendship, and even though we are dating, but it's still, for the purpose of this video, it's going to be loving friendship. Is that okay? All right, great. So she's consented to that too, so that's good. And you're going to see a fully embraced hug, and again, our bodies lined up here, and then of course we're both going to be present because we love and respect each other. So we're going to be present during this hug. And finally, we're going to hug to the right so our hearts unite. So here she is. Let's say the person's coming in to hug you and you want to hug to your right. So my chin is going to go over her left shoulder. It'll look like this. Okay, so now what if the person comes in like a total spaz? I know, let's talk about some hugging tips to prevent some different hugs gone wrong. Okay, let's say the person comes running in as a total spaz, like, hey! Okay, you just grab them and you literally look them in the eyes and kind of slow them down. You could do it on their shoulders, is probably better, because if they're running in real quick and you grab them down here, you might bend them at the waist and then headbutt you. Not something you're looking for. So you just grab by the shoulders and say, hey, how you doing? And just kind of ground them first. And then just slowly pull the person in. Okay, now let's say they're trying to go to the wrong direction. So they come in and they want to hug you. You can grab them and acknowledge them and actually shift them back to the other direction. Yes, I actually do that. I'll actually steer people into the hug to get them to go into the direction that I want them to go in. Now, let's say you get a big bear hugger. Right, somebody wants to come in and just really, really kind of hug you hard. So if she comes in this way and she's going to bear hug me, okay, one of the things you can do is just kind of take a deep breath and kind of expand your ribs a little bit and your chest out a little bit. Try to create a little bit of space in there, and it'll kind of distance them a little bit. What if you just can't because the person's a lot stronger than you? Then you just simply ask them, say, hey, man, I love you too, but not so hard. And actually tell them to lighten up the grip a little bit, right? Because we all need love, we all love hugs, and that person, obviously, if they've never been told that they're a really, really strong hugger or they hug too hard, they may not know it. And yes, you may have to be the person that actually tells them for the first time that their hugs would be a lot better if they just lightened up a little bit, okay? So hopefully all these hugging tips have helped you today. This is, again, a book I wrote. It's called Feel Good Now. When it comes to better health, there really is a quick fix. The hugging guidelines are in there. Like I said, other than that one about being present, and that is one of probably the most important ones. But you can get the book on Amazon, and I do hope you decide to get a copy because there's a lot of other great health and healing tips in there. And I do hope that this tip has served you well today. My name is Dr. Sam, aka The Health Raiser, wishing you much love.